Hello everyone, welcome to your first Python lecture. Good to see you here. Uh, this is a Python programming course for beginners. It will consist of 10 lectures in total, and of course, we'll start from the very beginning. This course is designed basically for school students or first year university students. We don't need any prior programming language, we'll start from the absolute beginning. Um, We'll learn how to write Python programs, make decisions using conditionals, repeat tasks using loops, creating our own functions. In the end, in the last and 10th lecture, we might even build our own project, a mini project, of course. So today's lecture will cover what programming is, what Python is, and why Python is so popular. Like, you must have heard somewhere, right? A lot of people are covering it. Everyone says Python is the future of programming and all and all. And whenever a beginner asks what language should I start with, everyone recommends Python. There are solid reasons for this, of course. And then we learn why Python is so popular. We learn how to install Python and how to install our code editor, which will be VS Code for us because it's the easiest. Then we'll write our first program, and yeah, in the end we'll summarize everything. So let's start with our lecture. First of all, what is programming? Programming, mm, let's think of it like this. If we want to communicate, like I am communicating with you in English, we can communicate with each other in English, but does the computer understand English? No, it doesn't. Computer, you must have already learned this, right? A computer can only understand binary language, that is 0 and 1. So if you try to communicate with your computer in English, it's not going to happen. So we use programming languages. Programming languages are sort of like a bridge between us and our computers. We Everyone needs a language to communicate, right? If I was if you didn't understand English, and but of course it's not as if the computer, like we type the program in English, but it's not as if the computer understands that English. There's basically a whole process that we're not going to talk about here. But for example, if I speak Japanese and you only understand English, what is the best method to bridge the gap between us? We'll use a translator, right? So that's that. Just remember that the programming language is a bridge between a programmer and a computer. So as I was saying, Python is a programming language. There are actually three types of programming language: low language programming language or machine language, and then there's assembly language, and then there's high level language. Assembly language is sort of in between low level and high level language. Low level language is very difficult to understand for human beings. It's basically, I just told you about binary code, 0 and 1. That is low level language. Low level language is actually the easiest to understand for the computers. And assembly language is it is low level, but it's intermediate. You could call it an intermediate language. It's not as difficult to understand for humans as low level languages. And then there's high level language. Python is a high level programming language. That means we can understand it very easily. That's why it's recommended for beginners. It basically reads like English. So if we look at a Python code, we are able to understand what it's doing very easily. And yeah, on that note, Python is an object-oriented programming language. You might be wondering what are object-oriented programming languages. Don't worry, I'm not going to throw you into the deep with all of these weird names. Object-oriented programming languages are basically use objects which are basically real world entities represented in our code. And you, what do non-object oriented programming languages use? And they use functions and all of that. And yeah, that has its own uses. I'll tell it to you in due time. Then we move on to yes, this slide I totally forgot about it. Programming is basically step-by-step instructions. We just give it a list of orders and it follows it. Probably because it's a computer, it follows orders. For example, if we are making tea, the first step would be to boil water, add tea, add sugar, step by step. You give your computer step by step instructions because a computer is not a human, it doesn't understand nuance. And yeah, I already told you what is Python. It's easy to learn, it has a huge ecosystem. There are many uses of Python programming. I'm only going to teach the basics in this course, but it's used for a variety of purposes. Oh, it was created by Guido von Rossum, and it was first released in 1991. Where is Python used? Now, you might have heard everywhere by now. Python is the most preferred language for creating artificial intelligence programs. It's also used for web development, for the development of the backend, the server side of the websites and everything, using frameworks like Django, and then it's intensively used in data science and analysis. Using it has a lot of it's a very deep language. There's a lot of libraries in it, pandas, numpy, and yeah, it's also used for game development, automation, machine learning, especially used for machine learning, and that's actually why it's useful for artificial intelligence. Artificial intelligence and machine learning go quite hand in hand. And yeah, then why should we learn Python? It basically connects to the previous point. Python is easy to learn. Many people recommend learning Python as a first programming language. It was actually my first programming language as well. It's much easier compared to everything else. Like if you start something like C or C++ first, it will be tougher. But since Python reads like English, it's easier. And of course, if you understand it deeply, you can use it for a variety of purposes. You could even use it to create your own AI. And a lot of big organizations such as Google, NASA, they use it. You can also build projects using it very quickly because I have been repeating this like a parrot, but it's easier to learn than other programming languages. So, of course, since this is a lecture for beginners, I don't expect you to have Python installed in your computer already. If you have it, then great. If you don't have it, very easy to get. You just go to Google. Wait, I'll actually show you. Let's take it. Okay, so to install Python, you basically go here, type Python, go to your web browser and type Python. Then it's always better to install it from the official website. You don't know what viruses you're getting from the unofficial ones. So we go to python.org. Okay, go here, then the latest version, obviously. Then you can choose as per your system, Mac OS, Windows. We have Windows, so we click this and then download installer. After you have downloaded your Python installer, you can run the installer. And a very important step is to add it to your paths. Like you don't have to separately do it. There will be an option, there will be a checkbox. It will say add to path and you have to check it. It makes your, like, trust me, it will be easier for future you when you program. And yeah, Then we can basically verify if we have downloaded Python. If we just go to our start menu, and for Windows we can just type PowerShell, but if you're using MacBook, then you can just press command plus spacebar and type terminal and press enter. It will basically open a terminal app. So yeah, since we're using Windows, we'll type PowerShell and we open that, and then we'll basically type Python space dash dash version. As you can see, it's showing the version of Python that I have downloaded on my system. And for Mac OS, you basically type Python 3. Like instead of Python, you just type Python 3 and then version. If it shows a version, that means your Python has been installed successfully. Congratulations on your first step to being a programmer. And yeah, after that is done, we have another very important step, and that is to download your code editor, which is VS Code in our case. You can basically use any code editor, but VS Code is obviously, it's easier to use. It's very intuitive. I have been using VS Code since I started my programming journey, and trust me, I'm not sponsored by VS Code or anything. It's easy to use. It's perfect for beginners. If you want to try any other code editor, you can. I'm not stopping you, but I just prefer it. And so, wait. Some of you might be thinking, what's a code editor? Coding in itself is very taxing. It's better to have a nice environment for it. Code editors basically help us write codes. They can a lot of times they can detect our errors, and there's all these extensions and everything, and it makes debugging very easy, and it even makes typing very easy because you tend to forget brackets a lot in coding. Like you must have seen jokes everywhere. People are forgetting semicolons, brackets. Code editors, they help us avoid all those mistakes, and yeah. So why VS Code? Because it is an integrated terminal debugger, a lot of extensions, and it's very easy for beginners. So we'll use it for this course. If you have any other code editor that you want to use, you can. I'm just going to use VS Code. So to download VS Code, obviously I have it installed already, but then we go VS Code, and then again official websites, guys. Official websites are always better. Go here, then as per your system, Mac, Windows. I doubt you have Red Hat and Ubuntu and everything, but yeah. So you can choose whatever option you want to from here and click install. It will be installed. This is basically it. So I already opened a folder here, but I'll show you once. It will basically open to this screen, and then you go to file, you type open folder. If you don't already have a folder, you can just type new folder here and then name it something, enter, select folder, and it will open your new folder here. I already have a folder, so I'll just open that. Let's see, we have this folder and we'll open it. So yeah, after opening our main folder, we just type here, as you can see, new file. We open it and we can name it, let's name it first program. And a very important step is to write, if you are writing a Python program, it differs for each and every programming language. So we dot So we type .py, enter. .py is basically the official extension for Python source code files. Each programming language has its own extension. It just basically helps your compiler and the computer differentiate between a normal text file and a programming file. And then another important step is basically to go to your extensions here, and we'll type Python. And first of all, download this. I have already installed it, of course, but install it, and then sometimes it gets disabled, so make sure that it's enabled, right? And then you can also, it's optional, but you can, it's easier, it just makes it easier. You can go to a Python debugger and install this, and balance is basically for syntax errors and everything, and yeah, that would be enough. And we come back here, let's go to our PPT. We'll just, yeah, now we have our Python installed, we have our VS Code running. Yes, as I was telling you, there's many ways to run your program. You can run it on the ideally. You can also run it on that, I showed you that Windows, PowerShell and all of that. You can run it on that also. But code editors make your life easier. Then it is time to type our first program. Are you excited? Are you excited? Let's go back to VS Code. Yeah. Make sure your extensions are enabled. Then we go here, and don't be scared, it's very easy, right? So we'll just type, look at it, like programming might look like an alien language right now, but super easy. Python is easy to understand. We type print, and then bracket. See, this is the beauty of code editors. It's giving all this information to us here because we have our extensions installed, and then it's automatically closing the bracket for us. Like I told you earlier, those are one of the main reasons programs don't run. Sometimes your entire logic is correct, everything is correct, but you didn't close one bracket and didn't put a semicolon, and because of those stupid reasons your code doesn't run, and then you're frustrated. Yeah. So programming editors basically close your brackets for you. You type print, and then we'll put our double quotes here. See, VS Code even closed your double quotes for you. Now we'll write hello world, and then we'll go here and we'll run this code, and as you can see in our terminal we have hello world. It's been printed. So yeah, congratulations on running your first code. Now you might be wondering, like, when I was a beginner, I wondered this. I was like, everywhere you go, they're printing hello world. Every single YouTube lecture, online, even teachers in university, and everyone's just printing hello world. Why is that? It has no major significance. It's basically just a sort of a tradition at this point that everyone is carrying on. It doesn't have any significance. It doesn't mean anything. It's just hello world. Hello world as your first program is a everyone's doing it, so we are doing it. It's sort of that thing. So, in any programming language you start, whether it's Python or C or C++, your first program tends to be hello world. Don't question it. That's just how it is. So, yeah, we typed print hello world. Now, to explain it a little, you might be wondering, print, what is print? Print is basically print is basically a function in Python, and it's used to display things. Print. The print function basically displays onto the monitor, as you can. I was pointing it with my finger. You can see it printed this. It displayed this basically, and yeah, it's one of the major functions in Python. And the quotation marks here basically tell us that this is a string. This is text, and if we have used double, as you can see, we have used double quotation marks here. It basically tells the compiler that this is a text, not a number. If a text or a string, you could call it. I'll tell you about strings in the future, but just taking this knowledge with you. If we print hello world without double quotation marks, what happens then? Let's try it. It's showing a syntax error. Why? Because hello world is a string. Text, it's text. It's not a number, it's not a symbol, it's text. So double quotes basically tells the compiler that it's text. Since we remove the double quotes, it throws a syntax error. It says perhaps you forgot a comma. Like, no bro, I didn't forget a comma. So then what about numbers? Can we print numbers without double quotes? Let's try it. Print 5. And then we run. Yes, we can. See? Double quotes for strings or text. Without double quotes, numbers. What if we put a number in a double quote? Will it print? What do you think? Do you think it'll print? Will it throw us another error? Let's try it. And it runs. Why does it run? Because anything inside a double quotation mark is a string. It's taking this number as a string right now. Right now, this is not a number, this is a string. I'll show you. If you do, I'm going to use something that I'm going to explain to you in the future, but I'll just show it to you right now. 5 plus 6. Without the quotation marks, right? What do you think will happen if we run it? We get 11. 5 plus 6 is 11. So it basically adds these numbers, but because it was taking those as numbers, right? But if we use double quotation marks here and we do 5 plus 6, what do you think will happen? Last time when we put the 5 in quotation marks, it printed just fine. What do you think will happen? Will we get an output here? Will it print perfectly this time too? Will we get an 11? No, we're getting 5 plus 6. Why is that? Because this 5 plus 6 is being taken as a string. This has been converted into a string. This is no longer a number. See? I know it sounds a little confusing right now, but it will get easier. So yeah. Oh, you can also print multiple things. We can print 5, enter, print hello there. It works. You can try all of this at home, you know. And mhm. Let's see. Come on. Great. So yeah, we typed our first program, and then we used print in it, the print function in it, as it tells you here. It helps us print text, and this text inside the double quotes are known as strings, and we can also print numbers with it. And yeah, strings use quotes, numbers do not use quotes. Python can print both, but quotes tell Python to treat the value as text. Easy, right? Oh, you can also write comments. Comments are, you know what comments are, but I'm not talking about the comments on YouTube videos and all of that, not the comments on social media. I'm talking about the comments, the notes you make in your textbooks, you'll underline something and then write something. It's sort of like that. It basically, comments are not for the computer, comments are for humans. Python ignores them. Python does not look at them when it's printing something because it's for the humans, not the computer. So they are basically used to explain the program to humans. Why would we need to explain the program to humans? Basically, when you're working on big projects, these are small things that we're doing, but if you're working on a big project, there might be multiple people working on the same program. If we're developing an app or something like that, there will be a whole team working on this single program. So if I write an obscure line of code and the other person doesn't understand it, they'll have to find who wrote that line of code, and then it will be a whole thing. So you can basically then you can basically use a comment to, if you have written a line of code, you can basically write a comment beside it, and the comment will explain the intent of it. And you can also use it for yourself if you want to leave a reminder, or if you want to temporarily disable the code. For example, it's basically a form of documentation. It's not a big deal. Where I'll show you. Yeah, let's kill this terminal. You can kill it like that, and then we can go here. New terminal. This is how you can get a new terminal. So yeah, comments are basically written in Python. It's different for every programming language. Comments in Python are written with a hashtag. So hashtag, the compiler will not read anything written after this hashtag. This is for me, or for you, for human beings, right? The computer will not understand it, it will ignore it. So we write hashtag, what should we write? Hi, this is a comment, and let's try to run it. 5. Hello there. Does it print hashtag hi, this is a comment? No. Does it throw an error because of it? No, because this is a comment and the compiler does not process this. Then another usage, as I told you, is to, if you want to temporarily ignore line of code, if I don't want to print this 5 and I only want to print hello there, but I don't want to delete this 5 either, I can just go here and I can put a hashtag in front of it. Now it's a comment. As you can see, it's gray, it's not colored. And what will happen if I run this code? Will 5 be printed? It won't. The compiler now ignores 5 and only prints hello there. Hello there. See? Easy. So yeah, you basically use a hashtag to, basically a hash, just call it a hash, because there's a whole thing with HTML and all. So yeah, we can explain complicated code, document decisions, inputs or expected outputs, temporarily disable code during testing. We've tried all of that. Then, of course, common beginner mistakes. Here we go. Since this is your first time writing a Python code, I'm assuming this is your first time writing a Python code, there are some tiny mistakes that you should keep in mind, right? You could miss quotation marks. You could try to print a string without quotation marks. We saw what that happens literally just now. The compiler will throw a syntax error, and then you could, yeah, there's also this thing. Python is a case sensitive language. So print with things with a capital letter and a small letter are very different. Case sensitive is basically, you know, case sensitive. Uppercase, lowercase, sensitive. Lowercase will entirely change the meaning of the thing. I'll show you. So these are all working properly, right? But if we try print with a capital P, print hello, will it work? Will it work? It won't work because print does not exist in Python. Only the print with small p is defined in Python. It's a defined function in Python. Print with a capital P is an entirely different thing for Python. This is because of ASCII codes and all of that. I'll tell you about those later. So yeah, Python is case sensitive. So yeah, Python is case sensitive. You have to ensure that you use the right case, lowercase. Most of the time it's lowercase. Okay, just use lowercase. Don't turn your caps lock on. So you have to ensure that you use lowercase, and then you have to make sure that there are no spelling mistakes. I sometimes make spelling mistakes. You have to make sure that doesn't happen. And yeah, there's an exercise you can try. Pause this video and try to print your name, print your age, and print your favorite subject. It's very easy, don't be scared. I'll print it alongside you, okay? See, print your name, print your age, print your favorite subject. If you want to look at me doing it, you can, but it's better for you if you pause this video and type it on your computer once. Let's go to our VS Code, and we don't need this, right? So print your name. I'll print my name, then print my age, and then we'll print what else was there? Your favorite subject. Do you have a favorite subject? I don't really have a favorite subject. Let's just English. Yes, are we there? And it prints Inayat 200 English. Well done. If you did it by yourself without looking at the video, well done. You basically learned the print function properly right now. Now that we have learned what the print function is, shall we try to do some calculations inside it? Can we do calculations inside it? Well, yes, you can do calculations inside print functions. I'll explain variables in the next lecture, I suppose, and then that will make calculations much easier. But you can do calculations inside the print function as well. For example, we'll type 3 plus 4. I already showed you addition, right? So we done it. My god, let's just kill this terminal and open a new one. Yeah, a clean terminal. We run it and we got 4 plus 3, 7. Great, wonderful. Then can we do anything else? Yes, we can. We go print 6 minus 10. Yes, it will give a negative value. Minus 4. 7 minus 4. And subtraction, then there's obviously multiplication. Let's go with 2 multiplied by 2. We get 4. Great, it's working. Can we do division? Yes, we can. 10 divided by 5. Boom, 2.0. And yeah, you can do all of these operations inside the print function itself. By the way, what if we try to add a string? We've tried this before, if you remember. We can go here and we just go. We tried it with numbers. Let's try it with text this time. We go milk plus cookies. What is going to happen? What do you think is going to happen? We'll run it and we get milk plus cookies. Basically join these two and got this. The plus is also taken as a part of the string, right? The plus is not taken as an operator here, it's taken as a part of the string. Whatever is inside quotation marks, it's a string. What if we try to add it like this though? And one string and then another string. The plus is not inside quotation marks now. What do you think will happen now? Will it throw an error? Because these two are not numbers, these two are strings. Can we add strings? I don't know. Let's try it. Milk cookies joined together. Strange. Well, this is called concatenation. Concatenation basically lets you join two different strings together with a plus operator. You can see it like earlier it was the plus was within the quotation marks. It took the white space along with it. The white space is basically the space we left after milk and before plus, and then after plus and before cookies. Leave it. So it joins milk and cookies together. But I don't want it to be like this. I want there to be space in between. So yeah, this might look useless right now. Why would we join milk plus cookies into milk cookies? But it will be useful in the future. Just learn it. Yeah, let's look at what was covered in today's lecture. We learned what Python is. We learned how to download Python, how to download our code editor, VS Code, and then we learned where Python is used. As I told you, it's used in data science, the web applications, machine learning, artificial intelligence, widely used in artificial intelligence. And then we learned about the print function, I'll teach you about functions in general in the future, of course, but yeah, print function is an inbuilt function in Python basically. You don't have to define it. It's not user defined, right? There are also user defined functions that we ourselves define. The print function, it was already built into the language. It's an inbuilt function, right? And it's used to display the output on a screen. The output can be anything. It can be a number, it can be a string. I'll tell you what strings are in the future, but just take it as a text. And then we learned how to write comments. Comments are mainly used for documentation and to temporarily disable codes lines during testing. And yeah, now that we think about it, we still have a little time left for us with us. So let's learn about the input function. We learned how to give the output. The print function gives us the output of the function. But what about taking in the input? What if we want to give the input? How can we do that? We'll just delete this. You can save this. I don't need it, but you can save this. And you can, if you want to, you can just type a new file and then name it input function or something. So yeah, input and print, very important functions, two of the fundamental functions. Like print, input function is also an inbuilt function in Python. So the input function is used to take the input from the user while the program is running. The print function, we write it beforehand, but the input function takes the input from user while it's running. Okay, take a moment to understand this and assess this. Basically, if I'm talking on a mic and I'm like, hello, how are you? What is your name? And then after asking what is your name, I pass on the mic to you. And you say, my name is dash, whatever your name is. So I'm passing the mic to you. I'm taking input from you in the middle of speaking. So it's sort of like that. I don't know if you got it. So let's see. We'll try something like, I'm going to type a variable here. I'll explain variables in the next lecture, but I'm just going to type it here. Just go with it, please. We'll type name is equal to, this is the name of our variable. To explain a little bit about variables, give a little introduction in this lecture. Variables in other programming languages often need us to write the data types before it. What type of variable is this? I'm going to explain data types in the next lecture as well, but just bear with me here. Data types are, for example, if int data type is for integers, then there's the char data type, there are all these data types. So in most programming languages, we have to write something like int number is equal to, we have to explicitly declare that this variable belongs to the int data type. But Python can detect this all by itself. You don't have to explicitly declare it. Python can basically read your program and it can go, ah yes, this is the data type that this person is trying to input. And yeah, that's also another reason that makes Python an easy language for beginners. So we type name is equal to, now I want to ask your name from the user, from whoever is using this code. I'll type input brackets, anything like this with name and then two brackets, a function. Okay, so input, please enter your name. And yeah, and then I'll go to the next line and I'll print bracket, don't forget the bracket, quotation marks, hello, because I'm saying hello to you, hello, comma, and oh, and then we go outside the quotation marks, right, and we put a comma. You know what, I'll just skip this comma so that you don't get confused. Hello, space. Since the space is between the quotation marks, the editor will pick this up, okay? So, comma, after we have, this is a variable, right? To print a variable, you have, if you're using a double quotation mark and you're printing a variable after that, you have to put a comma in between because these are two different things, right? These quotation marks, these are different and the variable is different. The type is different. Yeah. So we type name. The name of this variable is name. Maybe I should have picked something else. So yeah, that's it. Let's try to run this. Try to imagine what will happen. We run it. Oh, it's giving me a cursor. Please enter your name. From here, please enter your name. Space. See, it picks up the space because it's within the quotation. And it's giving me a cursor. Shall I try typing my name? Yeah. And now you have to press enter. Hello, Inayat. Isn't that cool? Um, so I made a bit of a presentation error or something here. Basically, this comma, this gives a space in itself. As you can see, there's a large gap here because I left some space after hello, and then this comma, it also leaves a gap. It leaves a space. So for presentation purposes, I'll just yeah, and then we run it and enter your name. And enter. Yeah, this looks better. So yes, we learned how to input things into our program. We learned how to out we learned how to take the input, we learned how to take the output. That's nice. You can also try a lot of things with this, right? You can try to do this by yourself at home. You can also practice this by playing with your family. You can type something and then you can use the input function and you can go to your sibling or your friend or something and you can go type this and then so yeah, we learned the input function and then we learned the print function. You can do a lot of activities with this. Let's do a few practice questions. I'm going to do this here, but I'd prefer it if you pause the video and you tried it by yourself first. If you can't do it, then you can always come back here and check it. First, you already tried taking in a name. Let's try taking in the name of a place or a city. Which city? So you can type in your city. City, we'll name the variable city and then input because we are taking the input for the city. Oh dear. See, I made a spelling mistake. You could also make this, but the code editor is telling me that I made it so that I won't suffer later on. In small programs, it doesn't really make a difference because you can see it right away, but in huge programs, it causes big problems. So let's see, please enter your city's name. And yeah, and then we print it. I hope you have come away after trying this yourself. My city is city. Shall we try it? We can also comment this name because we are doing our next example. See the benefit of using comments. See, you can just comment this and you can focus on this thing. And we'll print it and yeah. Please enter your city name. Let's just use a new terminal. We done it. Okay. And we'll type Paris and enter. My city is Paris. Now try typing your country. Okay, let's do this. See, these are useful examples because we're practicing both input and we're practicing print. So, country, please enter your country's name and enter. Print. My country is, and comma, don't forget the comma, variable name, and let's comment this. That's my dog barking. You know what? Let's kill this terminal while she's doing whatever she's doing and start a new terminal. There's no reason for it, just for presentation purposes. You can continue in that terminal, but then it looks cluttered and all. So we'll run this program and oh, what is this? My country is, please enter your country's name. Why is it like this? I wonder why. As you can see here, I wrote the variable name is equal to, please enter your country's name in parentheses. What's missing? The input function is missing. So yeah, if you don't enter the input function, this will happen because it's not taking any input. This is just printing a text. We assigned this text to this variable and then we printed it here. So it basically became my country is, the text inside this variable is please enter your country's name. So it became my country is, please enter your country's name. So yeah, input function. These mistakes happen a lot, So you have to be careful with this. So we'll run our code again. And yeah, since we made sure to write the input function here, we're getting a cursor here. We'll write the country's name, France, and then press enter. And we're getting our output. My country is, oh dear, my country is France. So, do you want to try another exercise? This time, let's try taking in our age. Type in your age. Go, go, go. Pause this and type your age. Meanwhile, I'll do it here. Variable name age is equal to input, and my age is, and then in the next line, print. Oh dear, I'm editing. That my age is, let's do with please, because you're right, please input your age. And yes, and we'll go, my age is, boom, no, and then we comma age, comma outside the quotation marks, remember, and then to run it, input your age. Yes, did you know I was a vampire? My age is 200. We're getting our output. I hope you got your output at your end. And how about taking our age in? Alright, now for the next question, let's try inputting your favorite color. Okay, we'll go. See the usefulness of comments. I told you, use them a lot. So yeah, we'll use the variable color is equal to variable name is equal to, then we write input, please input your favorite color. And then in the next line we'll print it, print my favorite color is, outside quotation marks, we go outside the quotation marks, comma, our variable that we want to print. And yes, let's do this. Here we're getting, please input your favorite color. Blue, enter. My favorite color is blue. And yes, this is all for our exercises on print and input. You did so well. Good job. Thank you very much for joining us for this lecture today. In the next lecture, we'll learn about variables and data types. We'll learn how variables store information and what data types are and how many data types Python has. And we'll practice assigning values, naming variables, and seeing how data types affect operations, because they do have a major effect on operations. And to prepare for the next lecture, nothing but just bring your laptop, your code editor installed in it. I hope you will install it after today. And obviously your notes from this lecture, keep them handy. And yeah, congratulations on successfully finishing your first Python lecture, and I'll see you next time. Please practice these functions, things that you learned today, experiment with them like I did with removing the quotation marks and this and that. See where it leads you. And yeah, that will be all for today. See you in the next lecture. Bye.